Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 53, The Unseen Diesels. Thomas had just arrived at Ellsworth Station. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting there. "Well done, Thomas," said Sir Topham Hatt. "You're right on time. You are truly a very useful engine." "Thank you, sir," said Thomas. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting. "What are you waiting for, sir?" asked Thomas. "Oh," said Sir Topham Hatt, "I'm waiting for Ivo Hugh's goods train to come in. He's supposed to be here very soon." "When is he supposed to come in?" asked Thomas. "In a few minutes," said Sir Topham Hatt. "I'm sure he'll be here." Thomas and Sir Topham Hatt waited impatiently. Soon 5 minutes was up, and Ivo Hugh was not at the station. "Where is he?" asked Thomas. "I don't know," said Sir Topham Hatt. "He should be here." Another 5 minutes passed. "Oh," said Sir Topham Hatt, "I'm going to be late. But worst of all, where is Ivo Hugh?" "I don't know, sir," said Thomas. "I'm sorry." "Oh, sorry," said Sir Topham Hatt. "It's not your fault, Thomas. I'm just curious where he is. I wonder where he could be." Just then Edward popped up. "Hi, sir," said Edward. "Edward," said Sir Topham Hatt, "you're right on time. And by the way, have you seen Ivo Hugh?" "In fact, I have, sir," said Edward. "Where is he?" asked Sir Topham Hatt. "He's late." "Oh," said Edward. "Well, he's going to be late." "Why?" asked Sir Topham Hatt. "He got in a crash," said Edward. "He did?" said Sir Topham Hatt. "Where?" "On the High Bridge. It looked really bad when I passed. But luckily the breakdown train and Rocky are there." "The breakdown train and Rocky?" said Sir Topham Hatt. "Oh, this is very bad. Bulgy," he said, "can you take me to the crash site?" "Yes, sir," said Bulgy. "I will." "That's a good bus," said Sir Topham Hatt, and Sir Topham Hatt hopped on board. Bulgy roared over the tracks. It wasn't long before they reached the crash site. And indeed it was a crash site. It was a mess. Ivo Hugh laid in the rubble, and he looked very hurt. Sir Topham Hatt was very astounded. "What in the world?" said Sir Topham Hatt. "This is disastrous. I've never seen anything like it in my life." "Neither have I, sir," said Ivo Hugh. Said Sir Topham Hatt. "Are you all right, though?" "I think I am," said Ivo. "I'm just bruised and damaged." "Well, that's good," he said. The breakdown train and Rocky were already there. He said, at least cleanup's already started." "Ivo Hugh," he said, "do you remember what happened?" "No, sir," said Ivo Hugh. "I'm afraid not. It happened so quick." Said Sir Topham Hatt. "Well, anyway, I'll just ask your driver." Sir Topham Hatt asked his driver what happened. I'm sorry, sir," said Ivo Hugh's driver, "but frankly, I don't remember either. It happened so fast. But anyway," he said, "I think I have a pretty good idea what happened." "What did happen?" asked Sir Topham Hatt. "Well, Ivo Hugh was going up along the High Bridge. He stopped right before it was going downhill, just to make sure he wouldn't crash at the bottom." Said Sir Topham Hatt. "Please continue." "And well, I was making sure his brakes were working, and all of a sudden he just went down the hill, and he crashed at the bottom here. It felt like someone actually pushed us." Sir Topham Hatt was very confused. He said, I think there's been foul play." "Foul play!" yelled the driver. "Yes," said Sir Topham Hatt. I think an engine purposely pushed Ivo Hugh down the hill." He said, "I'd better find out who that engine is." It soon spread around the island of Sodor that while Sir Topham Hatt was looking for an engine, the engines around the turntable held a meeting. That's disgraceful," said Toby. "What engine on Sodor would push Ivo Hugh down a hill?" "I don't know," said Duke, "but it's very sad." "Indeed," said Mavis. "Ivo Hugh's such a nice engine. Who would do something like that?" "I don't know. We don't know," said Bill and Ben. But Bill and Ben had a pretty good idea. "I think it's the diesels," said Bill. "Me too," said Ben. Frank was very disturbed by this. Said Frank. "Why do all the steam engines always accuse us diesels of doing something all the time when something goes wrong?" Well, said Toby, "we're just talking about the diesels that aren't so nice on the railway." Said Frank, "so I'm not a nice diesel?" Mavis laughed. "No, Frank," said Mavis, "you're a very nice diesel." "And you're a very nice diesel, too," said Toby. "I know," said Mavis, "but anyway, Toby's talking about like Airy, Bert, Diesel, and maybe some other diesels on the railway who aren't that nice." Said Frank. "Well, sorry, anyway." "Anyway," he said, "no, I'm really confused. Who would do something like that?" "I don't know," said Duke, "and all this thinking's making my old brain hurt." "Well, anyway," he said, "I better be off, or otherwise I'm going to be late. Goodbye." And Duke puffed away. "Said Toby, "Duke is such a nice engine. Yes, said Mavis, he is. But just then, a flash raced by them. What was that? Asked Toby. It went so fast, said Bill and Ben, I couldn't tell who it was. Me neither, said Frank, but Mavis saw it all clear. Oh my gosh, she said. What is it? Asked Toby. It was a diesel. A diesel, said Toby. Which diesel? Spam Can, she said. Spam Can? He's not even on this railway anymore. But it was him, said Mavis. Look. And it was. Spam Can raced through the yard very fast. We have to go stop him, said Frank, but he's going so fast that we can't. Another inch is going to have to stop him, said Bill. Indeed, said Ben. Spam Can raced through the yard so fast that when he raced between Rusty and Salty, they didn't even recognize him for a second. Who was that? Said Salty. I think it was Spam Can, said Rusty. We better go get him. Let's get him, they said. They raced after them. Meanwhile, at the shed, Donald and Douglas had just returned from Scotland. They were telling their story to all the other engines. Scotland is such a beautiful place, said Donald, but we're glad to be back on the island of Sodor. Indeed, said Douglas. That's great, said Duncan. Yes, it is, said Skarloey. We're also glad to have you back here, too. Oh, thanks a lot, guys, said Donald and Douglas. You're certainly welcome, said Boko. But Coley was feeling very sad. What's the matter? Asked Daisy. Oh, did you guys hear about Ivo Hugh? What happened to him? Asked Arthur. Well, Sir Topham Hatt thinks an engine pushed him off the high bridge and he crashed below. It's very sad. I wonder who that could have been, said Boko. But just then a diesel rushed past. Who was that? asked Daisy. I don't know, said Skarloey, but it looked kind of familiar. Douglas had a good view. It's Spam Can. What's he doing here, said Boko. I don't know, said Colty, but I hope an engine gets him. Just then, Salty and Rusty rushed by. We're going to get him. Don't worry, they said. Good, said Colty. We need to teach that diesel a lesson. Spam Can raced along the line fast, but just then he began to slow down. Here comes my trick, he said. He went to the other side of Henry's tunnel. He was going to stop there and play a trick on the other engines. Salty and Rusty raced to the other side. They coupled to him. Ha, said Salty. We've got you now. Oh no, said Spam Can. What shall I ever do? Let's take him back to Sir Topham Hatt, said Rusty. Then we'll show him what Sir Topham Hatt does the mean diesels. They pulled him out of Henry's tunnel, and just then Spam Can yelled, Go, 261! 261, said Salty. And they looked up. There was Diesel 261, or Class 40. Go, 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 yelled Spam Can. The diesel raced over the high bridge. It was going to go down below to the crash site. Oh no, said Salty. That's where Ivo Hugh is. Ivo Hugh, said Spam Can. I never heard of him. Well, just long story short, said Salty. He had a crash earlier today. Oh no, said Spam Can. Class 40 doesn't know that either. Class 40 raced down the hill. Ah, he yelled. Oh, ouch. That hurt. Sir Topham Hatt saw the entire thing. What in the world, said Sir Topham Hatt? Class 40 was still on the rails, and he raced back up the hill. I need to go stop him. Said Sir Topham Hatt. Rusty and Salty were so shocked by this that Spam Can broke the coupling and he raced away. We need to go stop both of them, they said. Okay, said Salty. I'll go for Spam Can and you go get 261. Okay, said Salty, and the two diesels rushed away.